Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So what is the one thing that you can do to awaken? I'm just currently here in the curtains. It's my new backdrop. Um, it's a rainy day here in Portugal, so thought I'd just make a video. The one thing you can do to awaken is the one thing that most people just simply aren't willing to do, and that is spend time on their own. Why is that? Firstly, we're distracted in every possible way. The television when you're at work, and you go to the gym, and the constant drama that we are kind of bombarded by, with our friends, our family, and all of this drama is keeping us, it's sort of forcing us to respond, right? So it's forcing us down into this state of mental activity. Who's it said that small minds talk about people, average minds talk about events, and big minds talk about concepts, ideas, notions. Where are we? And all of that questioning is actually what will give rise to an expanded state of consciousness, of awareness, which will lead invariably to your enlightenment. So what I'm alluding to here is really like spending time on your own is the most powerful thing you can do if indeed you are hoping to awaken to a high level of consciousness in this lifespan, which is a very short time on this planet, isn't it? We need to illuminate this chakra right here. A lot of humanity at the moment is stationed down in the lower chakras, right? Particularly the solar plexus, the yellow ray chakra. And this is sort of the limelight, really. It's tinged with the green rays of the anahata, the heart chakra, and also the yellow light of the solar plexus, aka manipura. And this is where we have the love of power, right, over the power of love. If you think of like the solar plexus as being the love of power, this is where like I'll make a video of like this is where we've ultimately been. The mother of all psyops is state education, right? It's pushed us down into this state of divisive consciousness where everyone is battling against one another, right? For this false notion of success. When you get that success, the ego still won't be satisfied because that's what it does, right? It's constantly trying to conquer. It constantly wants more and more and more. So the more we spend time around people, unfortunately, who are in this state of consciousness, which is still the bulk of humanity, it's going to be very difficult for us to transcend, this base level of awareness that we've been trained into through state school. So the best thing we can do for ourselves, if we don't possess the powers, the God-given powers, I mean, we all do, but they're dormant in most of us. If we're not actually exercising these incredible psychological powers of imagination, intuition, if we're not looking around and wondering and being in a deep state of what's called epistemic humility, where you have this incredible awe in the face of a profound mystery, right? This is a profound mystery, there's no doubt about it, but people aren't even questioning where they are, what they are, because of the dramas that we're faced with in this reality, because of these sort of like basic dramas that we keep sort of running into, and the newspapers, of course, are conspiring for us, and the magazines are all conspiring us to retain and stay in this state of consciousness. So the best thing that we can all do is spend some time on our own. Like I'm currently here in Portugal for a couple of months, and I'm so used to being my best company. I'm so used to talking to myself, which sounds to most people, I said that to my mum, and she looked at me as if I was mentally ill. But I'd say like this is a superpower that we have. Like you've only ever spoken to yourself anyway, by way of what we think of as other people. But remember, everything is calcium, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, like when we think of us anatomically. So in that sense, chemically, you're speaking to yourself, right? It looks like you're talking to Michael, or it looks like you're talking to Rita. But really, it's just the universe experiencing itself subjectively, right? So, once you befriend yourself, it becomes a lot easier for you to be out on your own, and that dialogue, that stimulation of the brain is going to create a conducive environment that's ultimately going to give rise to what we call, the Kundalini rising, or we call the chemical wedding, right? The baptism of fire. All of this is going to lead you invariably to the profound realization that you are actually the universe itself, and you were just playing a game of hide and seek with yourself. You were concealing yourself to re-experience yourself anew, right, for educational purposes. It's what really enriches reality, the contrast, without this forgetting and remembering, what interest would there be really in existence, right? If you already possessed everything, if you already have everything, remember everything, and everything's just there for you on a plate, how fun is that going to be, and for how long, right? So that's what I think is behind a lot of this mystery, is this desire to forget, right? That's why so many people are reluctant to awaken, because reality itself wants to play this game with itself, right? It wants to stay in this position of not knowing, the shadow work. People aren't willing to face up to really what's taking place on this planet, right? Typically in the medical fields right now. And so many other ways that we've been deceived, unfortunately. But, the way forwards is for us to ultimately, if we do want to expand in consciousness and reconcile, resolve a lot of the problems in the world, namely poverty and slavery, right? We have to expand in consciousness, and we need only a critical mass of people to be able to actually alleviate those situations and those conditions on the planet. And so absolute freedom comes first and foremost, and that's really what this channel is all about. It's about raising human consciousness so that we can decommodify shelter, energy, food and water, so that people can actually become consciously a part of the solution, right? Because so long as we are voting other people into power, we're playing into their game, which is the problem, right? So we need to join forces, we need to come together and see that we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the government, right? We are the 99% on this planet, right? So governments, unfortunately, have divided and ruled us for a long, long time. And they've done that by making us think that they are resolving problems. Clearly they're not, right? As I said in a previous post, how many elections are we going to live through until people actually realise that these people that we think of as authorities are by no means beneficent and by no means compassionate. In fact, it's quite the opposite. This is all obfuscation. So we need to become very vigilant and discerning, right, about who is actually helping. And really, as long as we are true to our own word that we want to experience true freedom on the planet, then we will start to join and in with projects like New Earth, where we are simply reclaiming our land, holding it in common to dilute power and fulfill our immediate physiological needs through the design of these autonomous co-housing projects. You can learn all about that at newearth.land, so do check that out if you're interested. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.